Hi, this is Uber Dave again. This is my second video, and I'm sorry it took me so long. I've had a lot of life things going on that have made it very hard for me to even have an extra 10 minutes to do one of these things. Um, but this is my second one. I noticed quite a few people have subscribed to me. I appreciate that. I've got a couple comments, some likes, so I'm very happy that you guys have actually seen this. Um, today I'd like to talk about trips with people that are either drunk, high, they might be rolling from ecstasy, they might be riding the wave because they've taken cocaine, they might be tweaking. You are going to get some people like this as riders if you choose to drive between the window of 8 p.m. to about 2 in the morning. There's a very high percentage of people that use Uber solely as their driver to get them to and from the bar, or to and from a party, or from the bar. They'll leave their car there. But that's their number one use of Uber. And that's fine. But it takes a certain type of driver to be able to handle that. If you have a very low tolerance for people that are going to act a little bit obnoxious, probably have their voice 2 or 3 levels higher than you are happy with, if you don't like people insisting to aux into your stereo, don't drive in this hour. Don't drive after about 8 o'clock at night, because there's a very high percentage that you're going to get somebody that is like this. So that's some pretty basic general information that I would just pass that on. If you're a new driver, drive early mornings, drive where you know it's busy. But if you can't handle people that are going to be a little bit off, don't drive at night, because there's a very high percentage that you will get someone. I've had countless situations where people have been too loud, obnoxious, insisted on auxing in. Those people don't really bother me too much. The ones that I have a problem with are the ones that are too high, or they've taken something that makes them completely out of whack. I've had 2 911 calls with riders that have threatened to hurt me. And in both cases, I think they were on crystal meth. But I got them out of the car and I was okay. Nothing happened. But I have had situations like that. But I've set some rules. If I choose to drive at night, because sometimes it's hot, sometimes, especially St. Patrick's Day, Halloween, that's the best hours. You're going to make some serious surge money. But you have to be ready for it. Have some rules, okay? My rules are pretty easy. I have like 2 or 3 rules, and I'll share them with you. They're not necessarily rules that Uber or Lyft or whoever tells you, but these are just from my experience. Number 1, first and foremost, if you ever feel intimidated or you feel even a little bit uncomfortable with a rider, you need to pull over immediately in a safe place and kindly ask them to get out of the car, that the ride is over. And a lot of times they're going to get even worse. I've had situations where I've tried to do this and they get more belligerent. So second step to that is you need to get out of the car. Make sure you take your phone. Don't leave your phone, because that's your lifeline. And then tell them, if they don't get out of your car, you're going to dial 911. That usually will take care of the situation. You can get back in, you leave, you end the trip and send a report to Uber. And I've had that happen several times, but keep that in your head. You are in control, and you have to stay in control. If you have 2 or 3 riders that are intimidating you, mocking you, whatever the situation may be, you need keep control of the situation, and that is pull over and get out. Number 2 rule: if anybody needs to be helped to your car because you're taking them home, refuse the ride, because there's a very high probability that if someone has to be helped to your car, they're either going to pass out in your back seat, they might vomit. There's a number of things that can happen with someone that is that inebriated, whether it's on alcohol, whatever the situation. But if they have to be helped to your car, you need to cancel the ride. And I'm telling you, this is a very important rule. I've learned the hard way. Okay. Rule number 3: make sure you have a specific address for the rider. Sometimes you'll say, you'll start the process and it'll have a general address of like Denver, Colorado, or Wheat Ridge, Colorado, or it used to be able to that they were able to get in there and it would be blank. I don't think they can do that anymore. But you need a specific address. Do not take the rider's word by saying they're going to say, "Well, I'll tell you how to get there. Don't worry about it. Just take a left and go down that." That is not going to be a good situation for you. Chances are they've been drinking. They're not going to tell you the proper way to get there. A lot of times they'll tell you at the very last minute to make a turn. It just doesn't work out. So you can handle the situation by just taking your phone and clicking on the destination, just tap it, and you put in the address. Ask them what their address is. This segues to my next rule. If someone cannot tell you where they're going with a specific address and they can't articulate that because they're too drunk to speak or they can't remember, again, this is another situation where you need to cancel the ride. Do not let the riders put you in a dangerous situation. You have to keep control. Okay? So those are just my basic rules for that type of situation. If you do ride at night, if you drive at night, a lot of times it's kind of fun, especially if you like music. You don't mind the people being a little loud and a little bit obnoxious. You can have fun with your riders, which is what I do. I don't mind if they aux into my stereo. I like to listen to all kinds of music anyway. The only thing I will not tolerate is when someone is belligerent or they're threatening in any way. You need to keep control of the situation. Hopefully for new riders, this opens a couple of thoughts in your head. And for drivers that have been driving for a while, they know exactly what I'm talking about, because everybody gets that one drunk or high person that is in your face and is pissed off no matter what you've done. And it makes you feel bad. It usually will ruin your whole night, but it only happens like probably 1 in 25. But if you don't want to be in that situation, don't drive in those hours and keep control of the situation. Okay. So I think I'm going to end it on that. You guys stay safe. Again, don't text and drive. I see a lot of Uber drivers doing it. They're holding their phone in their hand. Don't do that. Get a mount on your dash that has a magnet, so it's real easy to access your phone. A lot of times they'll do that because it's a pain in the butt to get their phone in and out of their holder. If you get a magnet one, it's very, very easy, and there should be no reason why you're texting and driving. But I'll get off my soapbox. You guys have a good day. Thanks.